So, originally I was going to talk about the episode Bobby Rae, as it's an episode about Bobby protesting for the wrong reasons. But I don't think I'm particularly knowledgeable enough to make that video at this moment, so instead I decided to talk about another episode where Bobby goes too far, but for another reason. This episode begins by showing us the neighborhood setting up for the 4th of July, and introducing the Rainy Street and Milton Street rivalry. It may have existed in other episodes, but I don't know off the top of my head. After Hank is finished setting up some of his decorations, he finds his son lazing on the couch watching TV without pants. The reason why is that they're setting up Bobby's more negative traits, specifically the ones that are part of the 7 sins. For Bobby, the ones they show off are sloth, greed, gluttony, and eventually pride and wrath. Hank vents to his friends in the alley, and they offer ways to make Bobby shape up before Con comes over to build upon the rivalry between the two streets. Milton Street has beat them in decorations 7 years running, which, now that I think about it, was probably picked because of the 7 sins. We see a past 4th that you can assume was the previous year thanks to Lucky being there, and the episode shows that Hank and his friends and Con are the only ones who stay behind when Milton Street sets off their fireworks show. It's not super important, but does show the bond between people starting to grow when they have a common enemy. Bill informs the group that Heck Dorland is in charge of the fireworks again, and Con expertly uses Hank's anger towards Heck and Milton Street against him. Hank cares very much about his home and country. He takes a lot of pride in having the best home on his street. He also has a lot of pride living on the best streets in his neighborhood. In case you haven't caught on, between Hank and Bobby, all 7 sins are represented in this episode. Hank represents wrath, pride, envy, and oddly enough, lust. Lust can be represented by the desire of something he wants, after all. For Hank, it's having the best decorations for the 4th. He's envious of the next street over for having bigger firework displays, prideful that his street is better and therefore should have the best display, and wrathful that he's constantly outdone. If there was an 8th sin, it would be ignorance, which is shared between Hank and Bobby, much like pride and wrath. So we cut to that Sunday where the Hills are on their way to church and Bobby has yet to get up. Angry, Hank tells his son to get dressed and ride his bike to church. Bobby does go to get dressed, but when he gets hungry, he orders a pizza. Though he has no money, but luckily for him, Peggy left her purse on the counter, and she had money in her wallet. So Bobby steals money from his mom and proceeds to miss church. His parents get home angry that he missed church, and for some reason, Bobby decides to get half-dressed in a shirt and tie, despite ordering the pizza in his pajamas. They learn that Bobby stole from them, and Peggy reacts kind of over the top.
Hank, you check the liquor cabinet. I'll look between his toes for needle marks.
Later on, while discussing what Bobby has done, Lucky chimes in offering to take Bobby to his church. Hank immediately refuses based solely on how Lucky describes his church, and this is different from the episode Church Hopping, so you can assume Lucky found a church he liked during that time, as before he held his own service at a bar. Also, Luann gets one of the few funny jokes in this episode.
I'm begging you. I don't want Bobby to steal my baby and use her to buy pizza.
So Lucky brings him to a dojo where his preacher scares Bobby into overcorrecting. And in case you're wondering, yes, I am a Christian, and people like this is one of the reasons why I quit going to church over 6 years ago. Anyway, when Bobby comes back, he is, in Peggy's words, fixed. And Bobby immediately starts respecting his parents and goes off to clean his room. He does pull a 180 in his actions, and at the same time, we also see Hank delving further into his actions, while Bobby tries to save a bunch of sinners. Though he forgot, judge not that ye be not judged, for with what judgment ye judge, ye shall be judged, and with what measures ye meet, it shall be measured to you again. Or, if you judge others, you will be judged the same way. Matthew 7. And for the record, this is why I generally don't care what religion anyone follows, as long as you aren't actively hurting anyone in following your beliefs. So Bobby ends up at the mall where he's yelling repent or else. This is what I mean by overcorrecting. Bobby changed his point of view because he realized he didn't like the person he was becoming. And whether that was done in a good or bad way is debatable. I personally don't think so. However, Bobby immediately goes on to push his beliefs onto other people, which is 100% wrong. Religion is between one person and their religion. Some people believe in one and some people don't, and that's okay. You don't need to believe in what I believe and vice versa. Though, that doesn't mean we can't talk about our beliefs, because you might see something that I hadn't even considered, or I might have. Having a civil conversation may lead to one party coming out with a different belief system, or it won't. My point is, learn how to communicate properly and don't push your beliefs onto others. Because when you do, people will invalidate your views if they conflict in the slightest from you. Anyway, we see Hank and the others at John Redcorn's fireworks stand in the middle of nowhere to get illegal fireworks, and John Redcorn has my favorite line of the episode.
Be careful. some of these are illegal.
After buying the fireworks, they go to float to Milton Street and learn that they rented a cherry picker. Hank decides to pull out his plans for an Uncle Sam statue, and we see a montage of the two streets getting ready for the 4th, and Bobby getting more into Lucky's church. This culminates in Hank skipping church one Sunday. Bobby misinterprets this as Hank worships being a false idol and smashes the papier-mâché Sam with the crowbar. There's the pride and wrath for Bobby, by the way. Hank believes that Milton Street destroyed the statue, and Bobby realizes his actions were wrong, though he doesn't speak up right away. Hank gathers all of Rainy Street together to launch a counterattack, and they plan to destroy all of Milton Street's decorations. During the meeting, Bobby does try to clear the air, though Hank shuts him down, going with the destruction anyway. Milton Street retaliates, destroying the decorations, and the following day Rainy Street plans another retaliation, and Bobby tries to figure out what to do to fix everything. Lucky shows up, and Bobby tells Lucky that he was the instigator. Lucky tells Bobby he took the wrong message from the preacher and it's not his job to save people. I think I've said more than enough on my views. The preacher didn't communicate properly, leading Bobby down the wrong road, which leads to this. While the two streets are fighting, Bobby comes out revealing what he's done and does manage to bring the two streets together. However, Bill comes out and destroys Milton Street's fireworks, and the next day they set off their one. Immediately, the two streets turn against another street that has fireworks, showing that the adults have learned nothing. This episode is okay. I wouldn't put it in my top 50. There aren't many jokes in this episode, and very few of them are actually funny. I guess the only important thing is don't be a jerk about your beliefs, and while it's fine to sit around the house every once in a while, don't forget to actually do things.